too, because how many chapters are in SciVive? Is it 9? Is it 10? Is it 8?
So originally,
how many secrets to save the world? Yeah, please tell everyone this, because I need to know too.
From what I understand, originally there were 9, and then longevity was added later.
Okay.
So there
0
are
is
10.
intro, and then 9 secrets to a better life, save the world. Like, that's the deal. And then 10 longevity was added later. Okay.
Either added later, or just like as an afterthought turned into a subset, like a 10th section.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it still could be, what is it? Is it 9? Let me
9
just Google real quick.
I think it's
9 ways to something. Let's see. Wait, because I've seen it. I've been 9 secrets. There we go. These 9 secrets will make your life amazing. Okay, so the 9 secrets are the money, power, respect, all those.
Yep,
and then yeah, and then longevity is, this is so important. It must be in the book. Not part of the 9 secrets, but I mean, should it be? Should there be 10 secrets now? But 9 is like the magic number, right? Like 369. Maybe you want to keep 9 like that. And longevity is like this other thing that is important, and we need to include it, though. Is that what you think happened?
I honestly, that part I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, we'll save the swarm for Richard on that one. Maybe we won't do it on that one. We'll save it for the publisher.
Yeah,
Richard,
I would hope. I've asked him to no avail to come on a stream with me sometime. I think maybe if I sent him a bunch of questions, like, oh, it'd just be so nice to just get answers about a lot of these things, and also just to hear him talk about it again. He loved it so much, and I feel like it's his abandoned redheaded stepchild.
I think he's definitely prioritizing it. I think he's prioritizing, of course, PulseChain right now. Hex is finished, right? But maybe there's some other stuff he wants to do around that, or watch the community do. They've done a bunch of stuff. And then he said what he wants to do after crypto is longevity.
Yeah.
I've said before, crypto is a means to an end to what he wants to do. He wants to get all this money together to save everyone's real lives with longevity medical research. The Heart Foundation, I propose. Maybe that'll stick. I don't know.
Yeah. Heart. Yeah.
I think it's a good name. I like Heart Foundation. It sounds like something people would want to donate to, right? It sounds like you may even get people who like care about like cardiac stuff. They may confuse it and accidentally contribute to saving their own lives in a different way.
Whoops, you did a better thing.
We got you. We got you in the system to help people do more than heart attacks and that whole spiel he has about, cure cancer, cure whatever it was. It only gives you 2 years. You cure aging. Right. Boom. Sky's the limit. Yep. What was I going to say?
Exactly.
So priorities. Yeah, I think he has deprioritized it. I still think he cares. He just deprioritized it. But if you are able to if anyone can do it, it'll be you. If you're able to get a 60-minute conversation on SciVive with him, it may just break the internet. Like, that would be amazing. And the chat AMA, it will either be filled with hundreds of questions from other people or just me. But I got a lot of questions too. And it would be great.
Yeah, because it's such a different side of him, It's that side that a lot of people want to see more of that. And I think it'd be just awesome. Maddie Allen, I think, gets to talk to him a little bit about that kind of stuff, but we'll go deep. It's gonna be great.
We need some public conversation on SciVive to revitalize. Maybe with the book. If we're able to actually get it published, he might come on to do like a virtual book tour, right?
Yeah,
that'd be a good reason.
That's a great suggestion. I like that idea a lot.
Right. Richard, I know you're not watching this, but if you were, hear it in your mind and channel it and manifest it, please, por favor. So time. You want to give just maybe an introduction to time, just so people, it's so abstract, the title, but is it just about making more going through it, what have you got at a time? Like, what do you think is the main message of it?
So my stream broke up for a moment, but I just heard the gist of the question is, what did I get at a time, basically? Yeah. So I heard a little bit of what you were saying before you got broken up, and it's such a all-encompassing, because that's, to me, nearly every chapter regardless of what the title is, a lot of the topics discussed within those chapters could be put within many other chapters within the book, or various other chapters within the book. I mean, he talks about everything, I think, from how to spend your time, right? Like from basic things about not, one of the ones, I think this is from Time, I'm pretty sure, he talks about not meditate, like playing with your thoughts and like sitting with your thoughts, but not as a monk trying to destroy thought, as like someone who wants to play with their thought and, you know, imagine and envision different things. So everything from that to, you know, talking about using an app to give you reminders and scheduling, you know, reminders about birthdays and things so that you don't waste time, you know, forgetting, you know, you don't forget.
Okay. So like, yeah. I wonder, have you tried to give a subtitle or description of some of these chapters? Because for example, this one, first thing that comes to mind after you saying that is don't waste time, you know, stuff like that.
I feel like he did that a lot. Like all of the subheadings, like that was all there. It's very broken down into.
That's right. He does. And the intro is really good too. If anyone hasn't, like, I think I'm excited. That's one of the most exciting things. I think I'm looking forward to hearing from the editor and seeing what she does with it, because I think the intro, even as is a fantastic, like, pull you into what we're trying to do type of thing. Mm-hmm. And an edited version of that, like, I wonder what she's going to come back with, or what she's going to change. And I just think it's a great introduction to try to get you into what this thing is about, like what the whole thing is, whether you call it a church, whether you call it a group, a program, a lifestyle. It just, I think the intro is really good. I just, I guess the chapters do kind of go into it too. Of course, you can't see it right here because I'm just quoting a lot of doing commentary on stuff. But anyways, we'll just pick, I don't know, you want to pick a couple and talk about it? Having tunnel vision is more efficient than removing distractions. Yeah, that's kind of, you were talking about playing time and playing within your mind. Is that, let's see, my commentary was setting time aside dedicated to being alone or working in a group where deep work is one of the most productive things you can ever do. Get up, take breaks, drink water, entertain minimal distractions, but get your work done. That's what I was getting out of it, synthesized. But yeah, what about you? Having tunnel vision is more efficient than removing distractions.
I think a lot of people go through this thought process of, I have to walk the dog, or, I have to cook this meal, or, I have to do this other thing. And so they're so focused on the things that they have to do that they don't focus on the thing that they should be doing. You know, like, to me, that's where my mind goes with that, is like, it's making that distinction between where your thoughts go in terms of all the things you have to avoid, or just laser focusing on that one thing that you actually have to, like your purpose right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I found that it's the thing that most people struggle with, and I've struggled with it a little bit too, but I feel like I've got down a system where I'll have some nagging, I have a to-do list and there's stuff on there and there's something I just do not want to do. So I see myself, it's almost like Naval talks about too, like putting yourself in debug mode. I see myself doing everything I can to get away from doing it. I'll just look out in the yard. I need to go, move these rocks around or go clean up something. No, stop. You need to go do what's rest there, but stop trying to get out of it. So I see myself doing this sometimes. And I think if you're not able to recognize when you're, deviating, when you're trying to avoid something, and if it's something you actually need to do, maybe you don't need to do it. But if it's something you really need to do and you keep avoiding it to the last minute, and then you're not able to do it, you're going to be late on it, or you're going to miss the opportunity. That's when I think it's key to, if you're able to see that and see yourself doing it, and then stop yourself and say, no, like, stop what you're doing. Don't do anything else. That's what I tell myself. Like, you don't do anything else. You do this right now. And it's just one of those things I found helpful to push past that sort of like angst of not wanting to do something that you actually need to do. Now, I think a lot of people, they have a list of stuff they don't really need to do. They just have a bunch of stuff and they haven't really prioritized it. and they're on the list, and they're like, oh, there's no consequence if you don't do them. But yeah, I guess prioritization is one, and then having stuff. Yeah, I guess identifying the stuff you really need to do, and then being ruthless about getting it done. Like that's how I've like figured out how to get a lot of stuff done. Really, I feel like every day I can't help but be productive in various directions, whether I'm streaming or I'm creating content, or whether I'm working on SciVive stuff or my day job or family. It's just like I've compounded myself. I've got this compound interest built up because I've been able to push through all the self pushback I've gotten from that. So I don't know. It's just one of my experiences for like getting through things. And I know you working on SciVive too, and you talked about being burned out for a certain period of time. It's how do you get back into it like that? How do you manage your time in a way that doesn't get you burned out, but also you're able to produce a lot of stuff?
Well, there's one thing I want to say, kind of backtracking a little, but when you're talking about focus, right, and distractions, it made me think about how often do so many of us go to do one thing on our phone, like, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to go post that to Twitter, or, oh, I had someone message me on Instagram, I need to go reply to them. And then you grab your phone, and then half an hour later, you haven't done the thing that you grabbed your phone to do. Right.
See, I think that's part of the self-sabotage. I think that's the avoiding the thing that like, and I don't know how I figured out how to do this, but like literally putting yourself into bug mode, like seeing that happen. Like I guess it's like identifying the situation that's happening and being like, okay, what's actually going to happen if I pick up my phone? Am I just trying to avoid doing something else, or am I picking up my phone because I need to reply to something important? Am I going to get lost for 30 minutes and come back and be like, oh, what was I doing again? Let me helpfully forget that other thing that I was actually trying to do. So
yeah,
so many different self-sabotage ways. And it's I don't know, maybe we're programmed to do that too. I think a lot of it is that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like that's something that is becoming more of a programmed situation, right? Because we have these devices in our lives, and it's just something that people, they're gonna they see all those distractions, and it's like they seek the distractions now because it's been such a part of their what it is that they visually are stimulated with. But on the topic of coming out of a rut with SciVive, it was just a good, like a combination of a few different things, and feeling like feeling not alone in the process, and knowing that so many people appreciate this work and want to see it done. I've had people every now and then just out of the blue ask me how it's going with the book and like what's going on with it, and like it's nice to know that a lot more people care about it than I never realized, like I never would have known. Like it's hard to explain how, not even knowing who Richard was when I started really this project, what a crazy impact and what an insane roller coaster of like just emotions. And the more I learn about Richard, honestly, so SciVive is there's a line in SciVive that I read that was part of helping me get out of the rut, because it was a quote that we posted recently about the different, like not having more quality than quantity. And I was thinking about that with the SciVive quotes, because and also because of what Richard said on that stream. And I was like, okay, well, that's critique about what is being seen. And then hearing just having the idea again about like, it's not about that I'm just doing 369 of them, right? Like the reason I'm doing them is to have people's attention drawn. And that's right. The whole thing is to get people, like, just like Richard wearing his ridiculous, like all those ridiculous clothes and doing what he does. Right. It's the attention's wanting to grab that attention. So I've just pivoted and switched the whole thing so that I'm like in this whole getup and doing this whispering thing, and I'm about to switch it again. I got some more good feedback on how to make them more eye-catching. I switched it so that the titles are different now. It's not just the numbers, right? Like I really want to try and make one of these things go viral. So, why not, instead of just like reading it or, doing like feeling like it's a chore, right? I was like, no, this is something I started that I wanted to, like, because I was so passionate about the book. And I was like, I want everybody to hear these little things. And shorts were the thing at the time. So that's kind of part of what just sparked the like reignited just being excited about it, because I also get to like play around with makeup and be sexy and whisper. And that's a whole new world for me in general. Like I have not connected with my femininity a lot in my life. So it's fun. And I think that's part of why that's another reason, right? Is that I'm having fun with it. And that's what's important, is like, it's, something that if I'm not having fun with it, or I'm not feeling passionate about what it is that I'm doing, forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want it to feel like a job. You want it to feel like you're doing what you like, right? So I think, the pivots for that. And it just reminded me too, or made me think of connecting with, because there's SciVive and there's crypto fam around SciVive. And, a lot of people follow Richard. Percentage of them are in SciVive. Most are in Hex. Some are PulseChain, all that. But if we want to connect with the broader self-development world, that's a huge community. There's a lot of people follow Tony Robbins and follow just a whole bunch of just people who are writing these works. Jordan Peterson, you could throw him in there. There's a huge world. And that's maybe one opportunity that reminded me when you said that, of just trying to have a broader reach, or, doing different niches like the, whispering and the ASMR and all that. Maybe there's like some crossover with other communities that could be triggered by different titles. Or I did some research because I want to do some more Hex shorts and clip some more Richard videos. And it made me think, you can use Google Trends. You can look up the most popular words on and search for stuff on TikTok and Instagram and all those platforms. I wonder if we had a list of all the most popular self-development content that people are looking for, and then you were using those keywords or those type of titles or that type of video or content, like directly appealing, kind of like what Furu Finance tries to do with a lot of the Hex stuff, and that whole YouTube Shorts group, that could be effective as well. I just thought of that when you said that. So.
Yeah, I need to get in the group. I know that exists, but that's because I think before I was being a little more, I don't know what the word is. I think because I was burnt out. So I was just like, oh, I'm just posting them to all the things, but I am being a lot more mindful of the titles and tags for each platform. And I think I might stop doing Instagram just to not burn myself out. I'm just going to do YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter.
Okay. Why is Instagram just harder to post to?
It is.
Fit into? Okay.
It's a little more. I have to. It's just not as seamless on the phone or laptop. To be honest with you, it's like I have to use two devices to do Instagram. Almost like either way, I'm doing it.
Okay. I was just looking for. I cannot remember the T.me link, but anyways, I'll give it to you later. I just want to show other people too if I had it. But everyone search for Furu Finance and Telegram, YouTube, TikTok stuff, and you can get the link as well. But you should join that group. And there's a lot of people in there posting videos and tips and talking about different ways to get exposure and virality. And
nice.
There's like 200 some people in there now.
I think it was Hexo posted something on Twitter today, just recently, just about just talking about Hex and PulseChain, and just a really cool like marketing type tweet. And it's just nice to see that. It's exciting to see people getting excited about things again and promoting. And that's definitely, it's nice that I don't feel like I ever stopped because It's it's been so life-changing for me in a non-financial way. I just can't help but talk about it.
I just wanted to, somebody posted earlier a word because we were trying to figure out what to call. I think it's in response to what we're trying to figure out how to call or describe the situation of SciVive. Briefswissel? Is that like a German word? Let me see. Let me look it up. Brief. And I think I looked it up a second ago, and it said something about, this could be interesting, exchange of letters, writings, correspondence. It means exchange of letters. Yeah, maybe. I guess not knowing the German context, it could apply more to like book or a set of principles, writings, things like that. Maybe that's no, it could be brief Wessel. I don't know how to pronounce that. Cool. No, thanks for the suggestion. It could be. All right. So time, and I'll just scroll down a little bit. Again, eat the frog. I always love that one. Yeah. Timing to do the most difficult thing first so you can enjoy the rest of your day without looming over your head. It's called eating the frog. Yes. It's kind of what I do when I was talking about debug mode too. It's like, no, stop what you're doing and do that thing. So, and especially if you can do it in the morning, you don't have to worry about it the rest of the day. It's so much better.
I like working out in the morning for that reason.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't later on and not do what you want to do if you've already done it. Just like those little mental, is it emotional trick or a mental trick? I'm not sure. One of those. So space. What is, you want to give like a brief introduction to space for people?
Yeah, space is not like you'd think Elon Musk outer space. No. It's your surroundings. It's what you, well, I mean, environment is also that. Or let's see.
Space.
Yeah, I think it's just like being aware of your space. Like being aware of what's surrounding you. I mean, that's the most basic. They're all full of so many nuggets.
Like this one, we didn't invent territory. Lots and lots of other creatures figured out that idea on their own as well. Property works. Yeah, I think it's talking about, I think that's what I've got. And of course, we'll go through some of the commentary too to give it more context. But the ability to, kind of like you described, just have your own. I think a lot of it relates to some of the American values too, of like property rights. And I don't think we ever want to live in a world where everyone lives in 100-story apartments, single bedroom, right. And you're all you can't develop, you can't be your best self if you're constantly surrounded by people. You don't have that space to figure things out on your own and kind of forge your own path and not be constantly corrected or criticized. So I think space in a lot of ways that makes sense. I sound like I just talked about what I said here. Have your own space and place exclusively organize and keep in who you like and keep out who you don't is fundamental in a society that encourages individual sovereignty and fulfillment of your own potential. It's hard to think for yourself when you're surrounded by people pushing thoughts and ideas you don't prefer, and hard to create your own stuff when you're distracted helping others all the time.
So true. That's such an important lesson to learn in life. It's taken me a long time to get to a place where I've had my own space, to be honest. So
will the bus do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very important. I don't know. I think that's why, ideally you don't live with your parents. You don't live in like 6th-generation households for a long period of time, at least not your entire life, because if you want to develop into your own sovereign individual and not just be constantly filled with the thoughts and ideals of other people, you need time alone. You need time to space to make those mistakes and see further than the people around you may be able to see too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And scrolling down. Yeah, let's go to events. So events. Yeah, what's your recollection of events and why it's important?
Is that I don't remember that being a chapter title.
Isn't it? Did I mess that up? Let's see, SciVive events. Could have. I think you may be right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I'm changing it. We're gonna figure this out because I would like to know that too. Money, power, respect, time, space, events.
How interesting.
But okay, let's look at your recordings and see what that chapter was. It wouldn't surprise me if there's different versions of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's just go this one. No.
Okay, when that happens.
I know. I'm not signed in, so it's got all this crap here. Hey, where'd those come from? Why can't I see? Why am I having such a hard time figuring this out? Oh, view full playlist. So 6, 7 time, space, experience.
Interesting.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, that's a trip.
What is going on? Okay, so experience. I want to check out. No, not that one. What did Richard say 5 years ago? Let's see. Torrent. Did he say something about changing it? Let's see. Events. I hate when it does it. It won't show you the original. I'm thinking of changing them to time, space, and event. Is that where I got events? I got it from. It's the SciVive website still up. I may have got it from that website actually. I don't think it's still up. Investigative research right now. Come on, give me a Wayback Machine so I can get SciVive's original. I'm pretty sure when I was writing the blog, I was pulling them from the SciVive.net listing, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, maybe that was pre-edit. There was an edit before my edit.
I wonder if it was. So it's either that. So all right, that's great. Scott, SciVive trivia. Is it experience or is it events? It could have been one or the other at one point in time.
That is a great future trivia question. I love it.
Everyone listening, you're going to know the answer if we do that for trivia later on. Not today, but yeah, at another one. SciVive.net. So there's nothing in 2023, so I think they took it offline in the new year. I wonder if it expired or something. But this December 7th. So by the way, anyone who wants to look at an old version of a website that's no longer up, Wayback Machine. Yeah, right there. I knew it because I knew I went off of that, and that must have been what it was. Events was on this unofficial but very official looking SciVive website. And maybe he did change it, and that didn't end up getting reflected in the chapters or some way or another. But he did talk about it. We do see that.
I wonder if you click on it, if it'll say events as the chapter heading. Also,
let's see.
Yeah,
there you go.
Oh so yeah! Wow, this is like pre-edit.
Is that what it was? Wow, so he went from events to experience.
I never saw a copy that had word counts in it like that. The PDF that's linked in the SciVive chat is more edited than this is.
Wow. Investigative research. You all heard it here. SciVive used to be events and then was changed to experience. It looks like I'm going to have to update. I have to add that note in the blog too now. Cool. So events or experience, what is your, I guess we'll go off of experience. What is experience? What does it mean?
It's tough because I'm that's past where I've re-edited. So it's been a minute since I've done reread that part, but
sounds like maybe emotions. Stay sober. If you're drunk when you're doing fun stuff all the time, you're hindering your memory from all the fun stuff. I feel like that was even one of the quotes somebody did before that you.
I feel like that's even, to me, it's almost as if experience is what Richard sees as kind of like your soul or your consciousness, because he talks a lot about how there is no, like, really, that's just like a derived thing, to use his favorite word.
Yeah.
You know, and experience is really, you know, what it is that that is our life, right? What are we if nothing but a series of experience? What are we in this human?
I think I like the way Naval puts it too. He says we are a species that just we're born, we have a bunch of sensory experiences, and then we die. That's the way he puts it. So yeah, I think experiences is like you said, it's just what you experience, like what your being is, that you feel and take in throughout your life.
Yep.
So this one, it's always fun to see someone misunderstand what you're saying so hard that they are entirely wrong about it, and not because they understood it in the correct way. Oh, it's one of those. It's one of those. Not because they understood it in the correct way. It's even hard to read. I'm telling you, to be incorrect about it in the incorrect way, but just to get entirely wrong based on misunderstanding. Okay, so that's the key thing. Let's just go with that. So when I was writing this commentary, I hope I read that better than I just did. Apologies, everyone. But commentary for that one was: listen to people for what they mean more than the exact language they use when saying it. It's easy to nitpick non-native English speakers, but you won't learn the valuable things they may be saying. It is, I think it's really important too. Is it your point to criticize others from your keyboard or build your own knowledge base? Mm-hmm. You to get to decide, but in the moment, be honest with yourself about what approach you're taking, so you'll be less confused when you look at the results. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where politicians too, you could see that, if you listened and interpreted Peter Thiel said it's about Trump. He's like, let's see, I think his phrase was, you shouldn't take him literally, but you should take him seriously. So I think that's something when you're listening to Richard, for example, maybe I don't really have a base to apply this to, but perhaps when Richard says something that you totally don't understand, it doesn't make any sense to you, maybe he's not being literal about it. He's like trying to get a point across.
Yeah, using analogies and storytelling. He's really good at that. He does a lot of that.
The events and experiences still trip me out. That's crazy. I'm glad we discovered that today. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. And then last one, we'll just do longevity again. Is it one of the 9 secrets, or is it like the hidden 10th? Did he want to keep it 9 because 369? That's the flow of the universe type of thing, or is it just so important that it's outside the 9 secrets, but it must be in the book? It's up to Richard to know that. But longevity doesn't need a lot of explanation. We know that he's heavily involved and interested in actually investing in medical research to save people's lives. Maybe he'll team up with Aubrey one day. Maybe we'll get a heart foundation. I believe that is his means to an end. Crypto is the means to an end to becoming one of the greatest human beings ever. Like, imagine if you have a billionaire actually putting money to be effective towards anti-aging, getting people to live to be 150, going down as one of the pioneers who funded, organized, and managed the process of getting the treatments to people. That sounds like one of the greatest human beings. So if his goal is glory, that seems to be on the list. That's my speculation, at least. So on this one, what is your what's some of the favorite thing? I guess we'll kind of wind down on this one. Why do you think this chapter is important?
Oh, okay. So I got this one. Longevity is my favorite chapter. It is.
All right. I like it.
You can tell that Richard was on fire when he was writing all of this stuff, because it's just phenomenal. There's chunks of it. Some of this has been moved around too, because there was parts that didn't make sense in longevity, like they belonged in other parts of the book. But there's a good solid few pages of him just like, I never heard him, I think, so passionately speak about these topics. And it's really, that might have been another moment that kind of rekindled the fire, was just like reading this stuff and being like, oh my gosh, like what a compelling, a lot of it could be in the intro too. I feel like a lot of it is just, you can tell he's like kind of trying to wrap up and summarize and say a lot of really great information, and not so much. If you just read the intro and longevity, that I feel like is a super mini book in itself. And those aren't long, either of them, I don't think. But it's really phenomenal. It's definitely, if you want to know who Richard is, that's a good chapter. That's a good place to start. Just read the longevity chapter.
Yeah, it's I'll just pick one of these to just, I like going back and reading some of the stuff I wrote, just kind of because I'm going through it too, especially this one, because this was the third one in the 3-part series of SciVive. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I just need to get this done. I'm gonna, so there's a little bit of angst there. There's a little bit of, I'm sure you can relate. There's a little bit of like, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be extremely polished on it. I'm just gonna like say what I'm thinking when I think about these quotes. So yeah, that's just not cool, obviously. So what are you gonna do about it? A little bit of aggressive Max on that. Yeah, so the quote, you can do something, right? We are at a time where we do not have to pretend there's nothing that can be done. There are things that can be done, such as Silicon Valley tech billionaire Peter Thiel, huge fan, by the way, said they're underfunded. No one cares about them. Poor Aubrey de Grey. Aubrey's coming on the show March 6th, by the way, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm very excited for that. Poor Aubrey de Grey has been giving talks at TED and at Google. No one believes. They're just listeners sitting there thinking, crazy guy. Death is cool. Yeah, you don't need to think or talk about it every day, as that'll be probably distracting for most people. But stop pretending it's not going to happen sooner or later, assuming you'd like to live to be 150 or so, if we don't start funding living longer research.
Yeah, let's do that. Boom. Let's live longer. I'm about it.
I would prefer to live longer than less long.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think given the choice, given the option, giving the ability to spend my time, it's not only, so first of all, you can start with being selfish, but then once selfish, meaning, you want yourself to live longer. Cool. Right. That's enough. Really. You don't even need to go farther than that. Don't you want to live a longer life? I'm sure there's some people who don't, whatever, that's a different story. But like in general, nobody's looking forward to dying. So once you get to that part, cool. You want to work on it. You want to fund it. You want to support it. You selfishly want to live longer. That's all you need. But if you go to the next level and think that, hey, if I can live longer, and maybe people around me can live longer, and wow, maybe the whole world. So you're not even affecting yourself, your family, you're affecting this broader world. And you believe that, we're all connected, lives have value, more people, the better, all these narratives as well, which I think there's a lot of good things you could say about them. You're helping people. If you like to help people, help them not die. How about that? If you could do that in a passive way, like you can actively work on the therapies, but you're not the one that has to, inject them or give them pills. We have people who can scale this issue. We have doctors that can handle all this stuff eventually once we have the research. So if you can do that and you don't have to do anything but believe it and not be pro-death and donate if you want to, just don't be a denier, I guess. Beyond the selfish part of just wanting to live longer, you can help a lot of people do the same thing. Yep. So I think there's what have you got to lose? There's unlimited upside. It's like asymmetric upside to this. What have you got to lose? If you want to, do you want to donate, whatever it is, how much you can afford, but just, I guess, don't be pro-death. That's like stage one. Mm-hmm. Don't act like it shouldn't happen. Don't act like people are crazy for working on it, because it's possible. We're getting there, just underfunded currently.
Yeah. Yep. I think people will start to realize, I think, more and more, just like any new technology, it seems like it's a new concept, I guess, even though I'm sure it's not at all. But people aren't used to the thought of whole, like, and this really speaks to my own heart, because I went through this change of changing my diet and my habits and really becoming well-rounded and holistic in that manner. So, the fact that people don't realize that, oh, wait, I can work on my not aging as a whole and not just have to worry about when I get heart disease or if I get cancer or, this, that, or the other thing. It's more about that ancient saying, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. I feel like that can be related to longevity, because it's not a matter of doing something to combat something that's killing. I mean, it is, but it's on such a greater scale, right? It's reversing, or working, giving your body the nourishment and giving it what it needs in order to stay young and think young and be young. And